まずは、世界銀行防災グローバルファシリティ、気象水門プログラムのプログラムリーダーを務めております、ブラジミール・ツルコナフ、首席専門官より、プレゼンテーションがございます。よろしくお願いいたします。
Good afternoon. My apologies, I speak only English. So for those who has to use this headphones, my apologies. Next time I will learn few Japanese words, hopefully. But it's my first visit again. Let me, within 10 minutes, try briefly to show you what the bank and our GFDRR team is doing in this area, and most importantly, to discuss where jointly with JMA and MLEAD and other agencies, as well as private sector, we can help developing countries to do better. So my presentation is called Towards Effective Partnerships, and that's the main idea of this meeting, because together we can do better than alone. This picture, some of you probably never seen, because in this country, everything looks shining. At least it's my first impression after visiting some of your facilities. But that's what we see in many countries, unfortunately. And that creates a problem for our client countries in the developing world, be it Africa, Asia, or elsewhere. And despite the fact that it's evident that hydrometeorology is a very important area and early warning system is a very important area, in many countries, these agencies are very weak. And the needs in this sector are conservatively estimated at $1.5 to $2 billion, and that relates only to priority investments. More importantly, support from the budget in that country should be provided to make that system operational, and that is another complexity which unfortunately is difficult to overcome. International support so far was below expectation, even though we expect that after Paris Agreement that support will increase. But at the same time, there is a pressing need to improve cooperation between different donors. And this illustration, for instance, shows some of the countries in your area, specifically Vietnam, for instance, where donors continue to invest multiple instruments which are not connected or not poorly connected or not used. So it's an illustration that donors, if they would coordinate their efforts, can do a better job. Our Hydromet program is built as a service center within the bank. And that service center provides support to our client countries as well as to World Bank teams in terms of building capacity, both internally and externally with client countries, provide analytical support and knowledge management, and provide technical assistance mostly in developing and implementing large-scale investments. These are some illustrations what we've done so far, some workshops in this area. One of the books on the left, you're right, it's about socioeconomic benefits, which we published jointly with WMO and US. This illustrates, again, very schematically number of Hydromet investments in different countries. It's not full. There are many other emerging new programs and projects. Overall, bank portfolio in this area is exceeding half $500 million, and it's growing. But it's dispersed between different global practices: water, disaster reduction, environment, some agriculture, some energy. Our team supports approach which includes integration as one of the important factors. And that integrated approach includes three main areas: institutional strengthening, capacity building, and regulatory support for a particular agency, modernization of observation infrastructure and forecasting, and enhancement of service delivery. Service delivery is most important, what is necessary for clients, be it agriculture, be it smallholding farmers, be it shipping or aviation. This is the most important area. But without first two, you cannot deliver that service. And that is unfortunately not always understood. So our position is that institutional foundation should be built before we can expect success in service delivery. It's just illustration of the country where we work together with Japan. Japan has significant support to Myanmar in this area, particularly in installation of large Doppler radars. And our program in this country is built around that, in complementary to that. We, as I mentioned previously, we're strengthening this institution. We're modernizing observation infrastructure, but without doing this Doppler radars because it's provided by Japan. And then looking at the service delivery. Again, it's only indicative and showing you the split of different activities. For instance, in the service delivery, we look at the disaster reduction, we look at the agriculture support, and we look at the national climate service creation. Now I want to concentrate on a few lessons which we learned in this process, and I should have mentioned that the bank, for the bank, this is a relatively new area. We work in this Hydromet business and early warning probably 10 years, more or less. But clearly, this is a high-value investment. It was already mentioned that investing into this area creates a lot of socioeconomic benefits. The problem is it's very difficult to show these benefits to Ministry of Finance or to other decision makers. And to do that, we're again seeking Japanese experience how to prove that this is a high-value socioeconomic benefit. Clearly, building infrastructure or installing automatic weather stations or other systems is much easier than create institution. And that's, again, where we are seeking donors and other support and learning experience from other countries. We want to make a point that small-scale, short-term investments, unfortunately, tend to be too risky, and they are not always bring sustainable results. So we are looking at the essential investment which would correspond to the needs. At the same time, it should be sufficiently long to reach lasting effect. Designing of this system-wide integrated approaches appear to be very challenging. And again, the study which my colleagues will show today will indicate how long did it take even for Japan with its high technical capacity to run through several iterations of this modernization process. But now in many of our client countries, they're not at that stage where any modernization can be initiated. Unfortunately, in many developing countries, hydrology is even less developed than meteorology, and therefore that's another area of significant support where we can use your experience. I already mentioned that donor support is very important, as well as cooperation between the donors is very important. But this particular area should be considered within a global and regional framework. Without access to global and regional data, our client countries cannot function well. My final slide, I hope you're not tired yet listening, this is about what we may try to apply from your experience. Indeed, this experience of the Japan may prove the high value of public sector. In your country, most of the area in this particular Hydromet sector is on the shoulders of taxpayers. And my personal strong belief that this creates benefit for the whole society. At the same time, you have quite healthy private sector working together. So trying to find that good balance between public and private interests would be very important, and hopefully we can consider for the future steps how it works in Japan and show Japanese experience to other countries, and we'll try to apply it. We hope that we can extract some lessons of the designing and operation of your systems, which again current reports will show us. I'm pretty sure that not everything will be applicable to Africa or other countries, but I'm sure there will be some good lessons which we can use. There is plenty of opportunities for transferring your knowledge to other countries, including managerial training, for instance. Managerial training is missing in many, unfortunately, in many developing countries. How to run business of National Meteorological or National Hydrological Service. I hope, again, we can do a next step and learn from the Japanese experience how you run your agencies as a systems. And then more straightforward things like how to build networks, how to do ICT or remote sensing. Thanks, by the way, for your new satellite, which is widely used in many countries. And finally, we believe that with Japanese more aggressive, if I may use that word, participation in the regional and global agenda, we can benefit our developing countries. Finally, I want to show you a couple of slides which we will do in the very near future. Actually, on Wednesday, we will do Intermet Asia in Singapore. It's where we will try to mix that public and private participations, and I know that some of colleagues will be there. And finally, Dono Development Partner Conference in Geneva. And again, we learned today that some agencies from Japan will be participating, so we can proceed along this line, which we initiated recently. And I want to thank our office for kindly arranging this dialogue. Thank you, and we will be happy to respond to your questions.
ありがとうございました。今のプレゼンテーションで途上国で気象水門分野の支援を考えたときに、いくつか考えるべきキーワードというものが出てきたと思いますけれども、明示的にブラジミールは言いませんでしたけれども、隠れたキーワードの一つはやっぱり持続可能性かなというところがあります。その他にも例えば官民がどういうふうに連携をして気象水門サービスを提供していけばいいのか、あるいは我々のクライアント国となるようなキャパシティの低い国でどうやったようなシステムデザインをしていくべきなのか。もちろんその日本と同じようなことをいきなりやろうとしてもなかなかこれは難しいわけでございます。それからさまざまな分野での能力開発、キャパシティビルディングですね。これは何もテクニカルな分野のみではなくて、例えば組織マネジメント的なそういったような話も能力開発の一端で必要になってくるだろうと。それから地域的な、国際的な協力の中でどういうふうに気象水門局の発展を考えていくのか、こういったところがキーワードとして挙げられてたと思うんですけれども、こういった点を念頭にですね、では日本ではどのように気象水門分野の近代化が行われてきたかということについてですね、まず羽鳥様の方から気象気候サービスの方に関して、で続いて栗木様の方から水門サービスに関して発表いただこうと思います。